Hello, welcome to FHE on the Road with Christine Stevenson. This podcast is designed to connect the people and the places from the past with your lives today, with 5-minute stories and facts from church history. Save these stories for when you are traveling through these areas to bring history to life. Okay, welcome back to FHE on the Road with Christine. Today I have this incredible story. It truly is a miracle. I absolutely loved hearing it, and I have never heard a story similar to this in modern day. And so I just had to share it. Hopefully you like it too. This one came out of Harold B. Lee Miracle Book, and I'll link that book. And it's full of so many incredible miracles, and I still have a couple more I want to share. Every one of the miracles recorded have been so impactful to me. So hopefully this is something that you're interested in too. So this miracle was recorded by a man named Ernest Eklof. Ernest Eklof was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from Sweden, and he worked at church headquarters in the translation department. While he was translating a general conference for President Harold B. Lee, Elder Eklof had a miraculous experience, and this is what he recorded. So he recorded what happened to him, and then he sent it to President Lee. And then I have President Lee's response after that. Let's get into it. So Ernest Eklof recorded, quote, "While I was serving as an interpreter at the October 1973 General Conference of the Church, I was made aware of some Swedish brethren who were attending the conference who had never attended before and perhaps would never come again. I therefore had a great desire that they receive everything the prophet had to deliver. As the general priesthood meeting began, I had an experience which I have never had before. Not having a script, I commended myself completely into the hands of the Lord. As President Harold B. Lee began to speak, I was startled by the fact that I knew beforehand what he was going to say. The words came in groups before he spoke them. Nevertheless, I dared not translate them and deliver the translations, fearing that some might be my own thoughts. In the past, I have usually closed my eyes to better listen, then translate the words in my mind and deliver the interpretation. This time, however, the Spirit told me to not close my eyes, but to keep them on the speaker. Then something almost unbelievable happened. At President Lee's left temple appeared his thoughts, which were the exact words that had only a moment earlier entered my mind. Written in golden letters in an absolutely perfect handwriting. The letters were about 2 inches in height, and the thickness of the writing was about 1/16 of an inch. The words came towards me and passed before my eyes at the distance of somewhat more than 12 inches. They did not appear to be written on anything, but hung as if written in the air. Both the words entering my mind and the writing were in English, exactly as he'd spoken them moments later. This gave me time to translate his message into Swedish and deliver the interpretation thereof at the very same moment he spoke the words in English from the pulpit. Not only did I receive the words of his thoughts in my mind, and not only did I see the writing, but at the same time was given the complete understanding of the meaning in English. Never have I felt the inspiration of the Lord more pronounced than I did during this experience. The same experience happened during his closing remarks on Sunday afternoon, except the words remained near his temple rather than coming towards me. After the session ended, I spoke with the Swedish members in attendance. They expressed amazement in what they had experienced, telling me that they heard the interpretation and understood enough to realize that the interpreted message was delivered at the same moment Elder Lee spoke the very words in English. They would never forget this fantastic experience, they said. End of quote. So that was the letter Brother Eklof wrote to President Harold B. Lee. And President Harold B. Lee responded to Brother Eklof saying, quote, "As I read your spiritual experience in making a direct translation, I had a feeling that your experience must have been similar to that which the prophet Joseph Smith experienced when he translated the gold plates into English. He must have had about the same kind of thing that was given to you by the Spirit, as the words came to him, as he concentrated spiritually and saw the meaning and dictated them to the scribe on the other side of the screen. Thank you for sharing this most sacred experience from you. One of the most dramatic experiences of the gift of tongues that may be enjoyed by the translator that I have ever experienced. I do so much appreciate you and thank you for all you have done and for this confidence that you have entrusted in me." End of quote. Only days after replying to Elder Eklof, President Lee was asked to speak at homecoming for Ricks College, now known as BYU, Idaho. There were over 5,000 people in attendance to listen to this powerful talk that President Lee gave to the students. President Lee read the letter from Brother Eklof, and this was given only 2 months before the death of President Harold B. Lee. In this talk, President Lee said, quote, "Latter-day Saints, don't you think for a moment that the Lord does not have the means of communicating with us, sending us messages that were beyond our understanding, even to translating an unknown language into our understandable language. He did it with the prophet Joseph. He did it with King Mosiah. He has done it with others. He will do it today as we have need. I have no doubt. My whole soul pleads that I may live so that if the Lord has any communication that he would wish me to receive for my beloved people, that I could be a pure vessel through which that message could come. I do not ask for anything. I do not want for anything more than the Lord is willing to send, but I trust that I may live worthy so that I won't be a lame vessel or a broken reed that the Lord cannot use in times when he has to communicate with his people." End of quote. I was truly amazed by this story. I had never heard anything comparable to this in modern day, because we know the story of Joseph Smith and how incredible it was for him to translate the Book of Mormon, that it was done by the power of God. And it sounds like Brother Eklof had that similar experience, that he was able to be so in tune with our Heavenly Father that he was able to translate for these Swedish people so clearly and so precisely. And I really feel like the faith of the people involved played such an important role in this miracle. It was definitely a need to translate for these brethren, and our Heavenly Father came through so clearly. I love that we can rely on our Heavenly Father for our needs, that he will respond. I love that our Heavenly Father will give us what we need in the situation that we're in every single time. And sometimes they are through miraculous means, like this story of the translation. And lots of times it's just pretty normal, but it all is pretty miraculous when it comes through our Heavenly Father. So we don't always need to have these huge miracles to know that it comes through him, but just the simple act of it working out well. And we know that our Heavenly Father watches out for us. And I can't believe that this person had an experience the same way that Joseph Smith did in that translation process. So it's pretty incredible, and hopefully you like this story too. Thanks. Thank you for listening to FHE on the road today. We hope you enjoyed what you've heard. Please like, subscribe, and share with anyone who'd be interested in these stories. Thanks.